There's a specific kind of quiet that only exists after 2 in the morning. If you've ever worked an overnight shift, you know it. It isn't peaceful. It's the kind of quiet that feels like it's waiting for something. The two people who sent in these stories both worked alone, late, in places that were supposed to be empty. They were right about the empty part. They were wrong about being alone. I took a job restocking a 24-hour pharmacy the summer after I graduated. It paid better than retail because nobody wanted the hours, 10 at night to 6 in the morning, alone on the floor while one manager did paperwork in the back with the door shut. The store had those floor-to-ceiling front windows. During the day, you don't think about them, but at night, with the lights on inside and the lot dark, you can't see out of them at all. You only see yourself, reflected, standing in the aisles. Anyone outside, though, they can see you perfectly. I'd been there about 3 weeks when I first noticed the man. He stood at the edge of the lot, just past where the light reached. Middle-aged, regular clothes, hands at his sides. He wasn't doing anything, just facing the store. I figured he was waiting on a ride and went back to the shelves. When I looked up 20 minutes later, he'd moved closer, right up to the glass. And he wasn't looking at the store or the products. He was tracking me, following me down the aisle with his eyes. I waved the universal "Can I help you?" and pointed at the door. He didn't react at all. So I went to get the manager. By the time we came back, he was gone. The next night, the man was there again, same spot at the glass. And this time, when I moved, he moved with me, walking slowly along the outside of the window, matching my pace down the aisle, separated from me by nothing but that pane of glass. When I stopped, he stopped. We did that for almost a full minute before I understood what I was looking at. He was smiling at me the entire time. I turned for the office and I heard it. A flat, heavy thud against the glass. He had both palms pressed to the window, leaning his weight in, his face inches from the surface, and he mouthed something, slowly, so I could read it. I'm not going to tell you what he mouthed. I've never said it out loud to anyone. We locked ourselves in the office and called the police. He was gone before they came. I quit 2 days later. And the thing that still bothers me isn't that he was there, it's that he knew my schedule. He knew which nights I worked. 3 weeks of those windows, me, lit up, on display, and I never saw him until he wanted me to. I worked the overnight shift at a gas station off a state highway, nothing around it but dark fields and the on-ramp. I'd lock the doors after midnight and serve through the little night window, the way you're supposed to out there alone. One night, around 2:30, a car pulled up to the far pump and just sat there. Lights off, engine off. Nobody got out. After about 10 minutes, the driver's door opened and a woman walked up to the window. Older, calm, pleasant even. She asked for a pack of cigarettes and I rang her up. As I slid the pack into the tray, she leaned toward the glass and said very quietly, "There's someone in my back seat." She didn't change her expression. She kept smiling, like she was still talking about cigarettes. He told me to act normal. He's been there since the rest stop. Please don't look at the car. Please call someone. I told her to come around, that I'd let her in. She shook her head just slightly. "He can see me," she said. "If I don't come back, he knows." I crouched below the counter and dialed the police, the pump number, the car, everything. When I stood back up, she was already walking back. Same calm pace. She got in, the door shut, and the car sat there. Another 20 minutes, engine off. While I stood at that window, unable to do anything but watch. The car started just before the police arrived, pulled onto the on-ramp, and was gone into the dark before the first cruiser made the lot. They found it the next county over. Empty. Both doors open. No woman, no man. Her purse still on the seat, cigarettes inside, never opened. The plate came back to a car reported sold for parts 2 years earlier. I still think about how calm she was, and about the one thing I didn't understand until later. She never once looked scared for herself. She looked scared for me. Like she already knew how the night would end and was only trying to make sure it didn't end the same way for the kid behind the glass. 2 people. 2 ordinary jobs. 2 thin sheets of glass that were supposed to keep the world on the other side. If you've got a story of your own, something that happened on a late shift, when you were sure you were alone, you know where to send it. Until next time, try to get some sleep.